to break down the garden gate. There's not much time left today. Life is a highway, I wanna ride it all night long. If you go in my way, well, I wanna drive it all night long. You all these cities and all these towns, it's in my blood and it's all around. I love you now like I love you.
Alright guys, so today's video is all about, it's all about low-fat diets. And low-fat diets, let's be honest, do they really work? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain exactly why they do not work and why you should be eating a normal healthy diet. Because first of all, a diet is what you eat in a day, or a diet is something that you have within a week. So, it's just everything you eat in a day type of thing. Alright, so when you think of a diet, it's a load of bull, in a sense. So, what types of things should you be experiencing with a low-fat diet? Why would you want to go on a low-fat diet? Well, because as it's been given a bad press, people want to eat less fat because they think that fat equals fat body, basically. Which, say it is somewhat true, however, not 100% accurate. Fair enough, if you eat just fat, you'll become fat. If you eat over your calories, you'll become fat. Even if you eat over your sugar, you will become fat. If you go over your carbohydrate intake, you will become fat. So, it is somewhat true that if you overeat on fat, you will become fat. It's just because of the word fat, right? If it wasn't called fat, it was called something else, then maybe people wouldn't be as sort of about it. But no, these are the facts. So, a low-fat diet. So, if you're on one of these, which should be in the corner right now, which should be like a Weight Watchers type of thing, if you're on one of these, and you just, you think, I've done everything, I've tried everything, I'm going to go to that. If you've done it in the past, I imagine you will have been more hungry, you will have been more likely to forget things as well. You'll have felt lethargic, and you'll have also craved a lot of sweet things as well. So that goes into the overeating as well. These are just some of the little things that will be occurring because of that. But why? Why is that the case? Okay. So with a low-fat diet, essentially fat is very, very important in your diet. I've done a video about this before. In fact, I've done a couple of videos a little bit like this, but this one is just proper nailing it. Because these are the facts, right? I don't need no notes or anything. This is from fact, this is from everything, right? From research, everything. So I know this to be true, right? So, again, with fat, it is very important to get enough fat in your diet because it helps to keep you not only insulated and warm, but it helps your body to function properly. For example, you have fat-soluble vitamins that are absorbed in fat. So if you don't have fat in your diet, you can't absorb these vitamins. There's a very, very important fact of why fat is actually important to you. So you can't tell me that's not important, because it is. Also, fair enough, too much fat, it'll clog your arteries, and that can lead to a lot of health complications. Not getting enough fat will make you hungry though, and it will make you feel quite bad. Because like I say, it does help you with your body functions as well, fat. But there are many different types of fats as well. So we have saturated fat, we have polyunsaturated fat, and we have monosaturated fat, and also trans fats. Trans fats are these things you get from pastries and that. These are like literally the worst things you can get, because they're really modified and they're just really, really bad. So like if you're going to Greggs and you get yourself a pastry, that is a trans fat. Trans fats are most likely to be the worst fat you can possibly get. Then we go on to saturated fat, which that is, well, whether it's important to your diet or not, you still do need it, and it is in a lot of foods as well. Some places recommend you don't take any more than 30 grams of saturated fat, but as far as what I know is, you shouldn't go over 11. That's what some guidelines say, you shouldn't go over 11. However, there are some meals that have 11 grams of saturates in. So I know that one to be somewhat true, somewhat not true. Ideally, between 16 to 20 grams of saturated fat in your diet is enough to keep your body functioning. And also, having too many carbohydrates as well, that promotes fat. I'll get on to that in a second though. So yeah, that's saturated fat. So we've covered trans fats and saturated fats. Now we go on to polyunsaturated fats. Now as far as I know, polyunsaturated is either the plant-based one or it is the meat-based one, which is from like animals. Either way, these two here, polyunsaturated and monounsaturated, are things we need in our diet to help our body function as well as fat itself. The reason they're unsaturated is obviously because they're natural, sort of like natural fats. So that is the fats sort of taken over there. So just a little insight of fats because there's a few things to cover. Alright, so yeah, fat is important. Obviously too much of it is bad, too little of it is also bad. So that's why you've got to balance it. Okay. Now on to carbohydrates, because in a low fat diet you go down on your calories and you go down on your fats, and most likely proteins as well, because this isn't proper meat, it isn't proper food. You know, it's just like it's made in the lab. So if it's made in the lab, then it's going to take a lab to digest it, that type of thing. Alright, whereas if it's proper butchers, it's going to take a proper digestion to do it. You know, it's proper meat, it's proper stuff. That's the type of thought pattern you have to have with this type of thing. So yeah, going over your carbohydrates, a lot of people are carbohydrate can't talk today. A lot of people are carbohydrate intolerant or sensitive, and they do not even know it. So you can feel really, really bloated quite a lot. However, this could also be a lack of fibre. So if you feel really, really bloated in your diet plan, and basically you're eating like these ready meals and you're eating like low weight type of you eat a low calorie and low fat type of diet, you're not going to be getting fibre in. And fibre is very, very important. It helps your digestional tract move. Also, you won't be getting no vitamins. So that's no antioxidants. Antioxidants help, remove all the toxins in your body. And that's a very important thing as well. Not a lot of people get enough of that. And that's one of the reasons why you could be waking up on a night. It's little things like this. So, carbohydrates. There's two different types. There is simple and there is obviously complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates are things like pastas, rices, potatoes. They last for a very long time. So these basically, your energy levels go, but it's in a natural type of state. Whereas if you have sugar and you have like a simple carbohydrate from say like a Red Bull or Iron Brew, something like that, or sweets, it'll go. When it does that, you have a crash and you feel depressed. Also, not having enough carbohydrates can make you feel depressed. It can give you a brain fog as well. Also, not getting enough fat and calories can make you have a brain fog. And not enough fat in your diet or not enough calories will make your body go into survival mode, and it will eat the one thing eat what you've got the most of. So obviously if you've got fat and you are basically not eating enough fat, your body will dip into that and start eating away at that. It'll also eat away at muscle tissue as well, and that's really, really bad. That is horrendous. So that's when you see people start to become into like eating disorder type of thing, but they're in it's a vicious circle. They think, oh, well, I'm not going to get anything at all, I'll be fine. Yep, fair enough, you will lose a heck of a lot of weight doing that. However, because of how fast it is, your body will therefore compensate and you will end up putting weight on, because your body will begin to break everything down, break your muscle tissue down, it'll break your fat content down, it'll also break down your carbohydrates. And once all they're gone, you're in a real bad state then, because you've got nothing to go off. And that can lead to fatality, so death. So yeah, and not to go off on a tangent, but that is basically sugars, and that is carbohydrates. However, if you're going to lower your fat, but the meal sort of mostly tastes the same, what are they replacing it with? Because ideally, fat makes the meal taste nice. So what do they replace it with? Well, they don't only go and replace it with either salt or sugar. So salt is an electrolyte which can help you think. Fair enough. But if you have too much of it, you're in danger of high blood pressure and also risk of stroke and many other health complications. So again, that's something you don't want. However, if you have too little salt, you will find that you feel a bit sluggish and you might cram up quite a bit as well, and you won't be able to think as much. So that's this brain fog I was talking about, as well as carbohydrates. And also you won't be getting any iron. I forgot to mention that, iron. That's another important one. So I'll get onto that after the sugar. So yeah, too much sugar, again, like I was saying with the simple carbohydrates, they replace it with sugar. Alright, they replace low fat with sugar. So here's a good one for you. You could basically put on the pack of sugar, low fat or 0% fat. However, strictly true, fat basically, sugar turns to fat when you digest it. So it's like glucose as well. So if you have too much of the sugar, you will therefore become fat. So therefore it defeats the object. So if you're having Coca-Cola and it says 0% fat, for example, which no, I don't think it would, because it's a stupid thing, but because of the amount of sugar it's got in, and if you have a few of them, that basically compensates and sugar gets broken down into fat, stored for later. And if you're not exercising and your diet is pretty poor and you're not getting enough sleep, it will become fat, and that's when you'll start to put weight on. Also, you'll become bloated as well, simply because of the fact you're not getting enough carbohydrates in. Like, say carbohydrates, most of the time it's because you've got too many. And if you've got too many, you're insensitive, you will begin to feel a bit ill and bloated all the time. So you need to increase your fibre intake. Also, if you're feeling sluggish and you're feeling really crap, it's not just because of you're not getting enough fat in your diet, and it's not just because of the calories, it's also because of the iron. Now, iron is your blood sugar levels. So if you've got low iron intake, you're going to feel lethargic and pretty poor all the time. You're going to feel tired and fatigued all the time. Now, if you feel like tired and fatigued quite a bit, that's due to that, and that's something that we need to look at and address. So things like Weetabix are good for that. Things like tuna have got iron in. Or you can get a supplement drink or iron tablets from a doctor. I'm pretty sure you might be able to get them from somewhere like Holland & Barrett. But I would ask at the desk if you're unsure. So that's what you would need to get, some iron tablets. Simply because if you're feeling lethargic and fatigued all the time and you're on a diet like this, that's not only why, but it's going to make it worse. And yeah, I didn't mention calories. Calories, yeah, fair enough. You need to lose weight properly. A lot of people are going like 800 calories. That's too aggressive. That was far too aggressive for losing weight. And obviously, with it being a lower calorie and a lower fat diet, you will tend to become fatter. Simply because of the fact your body needs calories. It needs calories to live. So if you're basically restricting it from calories, or you're basically saying, right, okay, you're not getting this much calories in your diet, that's really going to affect you. Because obviously, the average woman needs 2,000 calories and the average man needs 2,500. However, somewhat true, somewhat not true. That's just a guideline. Doing your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, which I do have a video for this already in my, on my channel, would be a good one, a good shout. However, BMI, even though it's on there, even though it's a video on here, it's not known to be the best thing in the world, because some bodybuilders are classed as overweight. And have you seen Arnold Schwarzenegger? Do you know what I mean? Was he overweight? No. Do you know what I mean? That's the type of thing. It's just an average thing to go off. So it is somewhat true, somewhat not very true. So yes, like I was saying with calories, if you restrict your calories, you do lose weight, yes, and that's why this diet works for that. However, it only works short term. Short term, yeah, everyone wants short term. Everyone wants to, everyone wants to get ripped in a week. Everyone wants to lose weight in a week. Everyone wants to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger in a week. It doesn't happen like that. It does not happen at all like that. And also, carbohydrates. If you do have too many carbohydrates in your diet, that makes you more prone to store fat as well. So essentially, if you're just absolutely smashing the carbs because you've known that to be true, or you've known that to be right, and you're not seeing any changes, like you're not getting any definition in your arms, you're not getting anything, that is because you're probably having too many carbs in your diet. And that's why a lot of people are a fan of, say, carb cycling. You do need carbs in your diet, obviously to get the glycogen in your muscles to actually stimulate growth as well as protein. And yeah, not getting enough of that can make you go catabolic, which is the opposite to anabolic. So catabolic is where your muscles begin to waste away again. So all that time you've been smashing them arm curls, or you've been doing complex exercises, aiming to get your goals, and you just go back to normal. That's why, because you're going catabolic and you're doing a lot of things wrong. Essentially, doing a diet like this is going to do the same. Now, you need 1,200 to 1,300 calories in your diet to effectively lose weight, but lose it not only like in a slow way, but in a natural way as well. Because your body's still getting what it needs, but it's getting a reduced amount. It's like trying to take an alcoholic off alcohol. Yeah, you can see the implications of that. You're trying to take them off it within a week. It doesn't work like that. It takes time. It'll probably take a month, maybe even more, to get them from being an alcoholic to being proper teetotal, like cold turkey. But that's just the way it is. That's how that goes, and that's how this is as well. So if you find yourself as being overweight and you just go into these diets, not only is your calorie intake going down, so you only get about, maybe 1,000 calories at the most. However, that's not good. That's why people see this weight loss. They see it and they're like, yes, brilliant, that's absolutely brilliant, and they're buzzing, they go, wow, because they've lost it within about 3 weeks. However, yeah, it does look good, but factually and everything else, no, it's not. Because what your body will do is, if you're losing weight so fast, you're going to put weight on as fast. So, and because it's a diet that you're restricting a lot of, you're restricting your fat and you're restricting your calories. Wait, sorry, I've got an itch. So when you restrict your calories, like I've gone on before, in this diet you restrict them a lot. You restrict your fat a lot. So when you start to bring these back up to a decent level, so you start eating proper meals like a steak, or you start eating things like that, you will put the weight on and that extra. So it's like when you take a loan out from the bank and you've got to pay an extra 15% on top of that. That's exactly what this is. All you're doing is you're basically borrowing from this, from Weight Watchers, Slimming World, etc. You're borrowing from that, and what you're doing is you're basically giving everything back and that extra bit when you do this. And it's one of the biggest misconceptions ever. So that's why I would not ever go on a diet like this, and why it doesn't work in the long term. Because you see a lot of people who say, yeah, I'm doing this diet, it's working, and then they come off the diet and they put the weight on and they put that extra 15% on. So say if they weighed 80 kilograms before the diet, go on the diet, they go down about 70, and they come back off the diet and they go to 85. That's that type of thing. None of that whatsoever. And like I say, they will be keeping your carbohydrates up. So that's going to make you basically your body's going to be running on insulin. And you become very insulin dependent. And when you do get quite a bit carbs in your diet and sugar as well, you're therefore going to be craving more food. And when you crave more food, you crave sweet things, because your body is becoming not only sugar dependent but carbohydrate dependent as well. So you're going to look for them things in your diet, and you're going to overeat because you're not getting satisfied. You're not getting that fat in to keep you satisfied. You're not getting the protein in to also keep you satisfied. The first 35 grams of protein in your diet go directly to your digestional tract. This helps to aid you feeling fuller for longer. Not only that, but accompanied with a bit of fat as well, keeps you satisfied. If you've ever had Weetabix and you've had it at 9 o'clock in the morning and by 11 o'clock you are absolutely starving, that is why. Because it's carbohydrates and they don't fill you up as much. They give you energy, yes, but they don't fill you up as much as, say, protein or carbohydrates. Proteins or fats. So that is something that is very, very crucial that you should take from this video. So yeah, I haven't quite explained everything in this video yet. I think there's probably about another 5 minutes worth of explaining, and then we are done, and then we go on to next week and we look at something else. Alright, so we've covered fats, we've covered calories, we've covered iron, we've covered antioxidants, vitamins, we've covered fats, calories, vitamins, sugar, salt. I'm trying to think of what else there is. Yeah, we've also covered carbs as well. So yeah, one thing that you could look at doing in terms of having a brilliant diet, but doing something that is very, very good to effectively lose weight properly, do 1,200 to 1,300 calories. And I imagine that if you're watching this and you go to the gym, you're most likely doing quite a lot of cardio. And yeah, fair enough, walking does burn more fat than running, and it burns more calories. However, that's really, really bad, because of the fact that if you're doing a full hour's worth of just walking, you could be getting more out of doing a proper exercise that's doing 2 or more muscle groups at the same time. This is called an afterburn effect. When you go to the gym, you're toning up, and you are going to be doing, say, I don't know, so you're doing a deadlift, for example, right? That is a complex exercise. You work in more than one muscle group. Therefore, you will burn more fat, burn more calories, and you will stimulate more growth. So yeah. Also, I haven't mentioned cortisol, and I haven't mentioned adrenal glands. So yes, I'll get into this though. So yeah, obviously when you're doing a complex exercise, like say press up, because obviously it's working 2 or more muscle groups at the same time, that will boost your metabolism, which is the afterburn effect, which essentially can promote your body to burn fat from 48 hours onwards, which is an absolutely amazing thing. You know, it's absolutely brilliant, because your body's burning fat and it's promoting muscle. Also reducing your carbohydrates a little bit, right? I'll have an app in the description called MyFitnessPal. If you do feel like, oh, I'm a little bit scared or a little bit, you know, you're a little bit unsure, try using that, and that will keep you, you know, sort of in check. One top tip, don't just do cardio at the gym. Another one, don't go on these types of diets, because they're a load of crap. Right? They're not giving your body what it needs. Right? Right, the third one. Right, the third one is, I mentioned reducing carbohydrates. Now, why would you want to reduce your carbohydrates? Like I was saying before, it does promote your body to, you know, store fat. That's if you have loads and loads. So if you like just but if you're bulking up with carbs for like a big running event, fair enough, right? But don't have, say, 800 grams of carbs. Don't even have any more than 300 grams of carbs, right? This is because of the fact that what it does is it makes you feel bloated as well, right? Fair enough, it'll give you energy, and you do need this as well to help you, you know, get them muscles at the gym. So what would I recommend? I'd recommend that you increase your fat storages and increase your fat intake just slightly. So obviously make that like your primary sort of source, then protein secondly. Protein can't be a primary source of energy, because it doesn't work like that, and your body doesn't really react to it very well. So you need to have your body running on ketones, which is cells and fat. If you get your body running on cells and fat, you're winning, because your body's not using carbohydrates, which is insulin. So if it's not burning insulin, it's burning fats, and fats last longer than carbohydrates. So if we do this, we're onto a flyer. But obviously don't like say, oh, I'm not going to eat any carbs, right? Because you need it for energy. And if you're going to the gym and you're absolutely smashing it, you're going to go catabolic. So you need to be able to get carbohydrates into your diet. Okay? But don't smash them, right? Now I've got 2 more things to consider, right? Now I've mentioned it with caffeine one just last week about cortisol levels and why it would make you put weight on, because obviously, you know, you're feeling fatigued. So if you do still feel fatigued and you are wanting to lose weight as well, you could have a high cortisol level. High cortisol is basically, it's a little pouch. I'll try and get a video or a photo. There should be a photo somewhere of cortisol, like what it does to your body, where it is. So it's a little pouch thing, it's like a banana shape at the bottom of your belly, right? So it's essentially what people would call a muffin top, right? If you know the slang for that. So essentially it's just before your pelvis, right? So why is high cortisol levels important, right? Why should we be reducing them? You should reduce them because if you've got high cortisol levels, you're stressed. It's a stress hormone. So that's why your adrenal will be fatigued, because you've got high cortisol, and vice versa. So things like smashing the cups of coffee will raise your cortisol levels, and you'll have adrenal fatigue. So adrenal fatigue is your fight or flight response. So it's basically adrenaline. So if you're feeling like that all the time, and you're feeling quite stressed a lot, you will raise your cortisol levels up. Yeah, you'll raise your cortisol levels all the way up to the top. And when you do this is basically when you will start to promote weight gain. So this could be a vicious cycle. So if you've got loads of carbs in your diet, you've got loads of cortisol, you've got too much fat. You've got too much fat, too many calories, too much sugar. You've got a whole host of problems, and these are the things that's the things I've been talking about, and what's going to be sorted out in this video. So what would be my top tip? My top tip would be to, if you've got high cortisol levels, bring them down by doing things like eating chewing gum. That's a very, very good one, because obviously it gives you the impression that you're eating as well, so it takes your mind off things. Not only that, stick a funny comedy on, stick a really funny video on, or hang around with somebody who's funny, you know what I mean? Everyone's got a friend who's funny, everyone's got a friend who either they say something or they do something and it's just funny. That will reduce your cortisol levels. Also, obviously not being caffeine dependent as well, so coming off your caffeine just quite a little bit. So things like fizzy drinks as well raise your cortisol levels, because of the loads of sugar in them. And obviously you're feeling wired all the time, and it can, you're feeling on and off all the time. So yeah, don't be sugar dependent either. Obviously it's easier said than done. So you need to take maybe one of them out your diet, and then every so often sort of take a lot more out of it, so that you're in a place where you're in control. A diet is something you should be in control of. If you give it to somebody else, like Weight Watchers, to sort out, it's not going to do the business, it's not going to do the job. Fair enough, it might do it short term. No way will it do it long term. Long term is more important than short term. Class is temporary, form is, that type of thing. I've just said it wrong there as well. So form is sort of like temporary, but class is permanent, So if you're in good form, fair enough. You know what I mean? You see football, you can score about 20 goals in a season. Next season he scores about 10. Do you know what I mean? That's form. But he's class. It's how he dedicates himself to doing what he's doing, and he's back there the season after and he scores 25 goals. That's more than he scored in the other 2 seasons, It's all about mentality and all about understanding things like this. I think things like this should be taught in schools. I think we should know little things, maybe not as much as say like how to change your body from insulin to ketones to make you sort of like more bulkier and lose weight. Mostly things like how you actually should have your diet, without all this, you need to do this and do that. Yeah, you should balance your diet, but look into things. To be fair, a lot of it is the image. Everyone wants to be ripped, right? So most celebrities these days are ripped, or they've got the body that only gods could dream of, type of thing, right? It's the same with women, they're like skinny's out, or they're really, really big. And if for a girl, if you considered like, I don't know, something like a size 12, you were considered like obese, That's a very, very vicious thing to have. As far as I'm concerned, if you really don't care about your diet, that's fair enough. You know what I mean? You only live once. But if you want to be healthier and you want to understand a lot of things, or you just find these things interesting and you want to give them a go yourself, feel free to obviously go through the videos and page and everything. That's what it's there for. Personal trainer, nutritionist, he knows his crack, But like I say, if you're not really interested, hey, you don't have to be bitter about it. That's fair enough. Other people's got interests in other things. That's fair enough. But I think that pretty much wraps up this video on why they don't work. And I do really hope to, I really hope to see you next week, because, it's good. It's good stuff. Content is going to be getting better. It's going to be getting more, more things are going to be getting covered to help you have a healthy lifestyle and make me understand that knowledge and keep going. I love doing it. And if you've got any, if you've got any questions, queries or anything, don't hesitate to message me on Instagram, Facebook, anything. Find out more questions, even follow the page. It'll be in, that's what it's there for. And I do hope you all take a lot from it. But with all that being said, thanks for watching, and I will see you again next week, yeah?
When you nod your head yes, but you wanna say no, what do you mean? Hey, yeah. When you don't want me to move, but you tell me to go, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Said you're running